Hello, this is Hayden from Insert Name Podcast here, where we talk about film, television, and just about everything in between. To my left is
Hans Bogish.
and Hans. What's your favorite movie right now,
I would have to say it is It Follows.
and why is that?
No particular reason.
Not
Maybe-
because of Micah Monroe, huh?
No.
Not because you're in love with her.
Might be. I
Mhm.
would say.
Good choice. And to my right is James Thomas.
Hi.
He's gonna tell us what his favorite movie is today as well.
Actually kind of shocking because it was a movie I did not like for a very long time, but The Strangers Pray at Night.
I fucking put you onto that
You-
shit. I
you
told
did.
all of you guys
You
about
did.
that movie.
And I did not like it the first two times I watched it, and lately it's kind of been the vibe.
It's growing on you, huh?
Yep, it took a second.
It's
and, yeah, right now it's kind of been the one.
Yeah.
I still don't think it's better than the first one, but
No.
I like it in its own way.
Mhm.
And it's no longer shocking, and that's why I didn't like it the first time. It was a little, tonal shift was a little shocking.
I think that's the major riff that
A lot of
really
people have.
separates the fans,
Yep.
and I think that's what's fucking up the latest one right now.
Yeah.
Because I saw that they had to do reshoots for that new one, and or for the new two that are coming out.
Because people fucking hated that new one.
Yeah, that's what I
Like
heard
across
too.
the board.
Full, transparency. I haven't seen the new one,
Or have I?
so none of us have seen the new one. So we will have to watch it and give it a review.
I mean, I
Fair
feel
a
like
comparison.
from what I've heard is that movie is literally verbatim the first Strangers,
But dumbed down.
but dumbed down for an audience that doesn't understand it.
Yep.
And they're trying to, not force feed, but I feel like they're trying to force feed just that story and the narrative, but in a shitty way.
That's what I've heard from people too.
Not great actors
Yeah.
because you don't have Liv Tyler, right?
Yep.
And the crazy part is that they were going to introduce Liv Tyler in that second one. I don't know. I think for the time that first one came out, it was good.
Yep.
Like, it was perfect atmospheric wise. If you try watching it now,
It can be slow.
It's very slow and audiences aren't into that. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
good slow burn is great.
You kind of had to be there though.
And yeah, you kind of had to be there, which is actually going to come into...
Sorry.
No, you're okay. I was just going to say that's kind of leading into our topic for today, which is we're going to talk about Longlegs and In a Violent Nature. Both, I feel, have a slow burn. Both, I feel like, are great in their own ways. But
Divisive
it's
as well.
divisive, yeah. Very divisive. I love that.
It's not because I'm...
It's not because of Mike Monroe. No, I've been seeing people praise Longlegs and praise In a Violent Nature, but with Longlegs, it's like people either fucking hate it or they absolutely love it. I am more so loving Longlegs. I really liked In a Violent Nature. I think In a Violent Nature, they were just they just didn't have a budget, so they kind of had to, make it on the fly. And I think for making it on the fly, they did a great job. I think it did the job, and they could go further with it if they want to. But I think that's kind of a one and done movie. It was very vibey. It had a visual aesthetic to it, and I don't know if you could replicate that.
I think it's one and done in that style. I think you could take that killer, I can't remember his name now, Henry or some shit, some very
He
basic.
was,
Yeah.
I
not a
think
looker.
I think no. I think you could
He was
take
not a
and
looker.
do him with more of a typical slasher style going forward. I don't know if we need more walking, which I know is like the big draw to this. And like when you first have it happening, it's very exciting. Like, oh, cool. And then about 20 minutes in, I was like, this is going to happen a lot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Sorry, we were messing with the sound equipment. We can cut this little bit out.
First time, kids. First time.
First timers.
Yes, sir.
No, I would actually like to see more from that killer. And it's so funny because I feel like they went with the aesthetic and, trying to get those long shots in before they actually came up with an idea who the killer was. But then the killer was actually interesting, and I think it's from a lack of not getting any Friday the 13th in fucking
Long
10,
time.
12 years. So
Well, then on top of that too, I think a lot of the long shots were runtime.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's that reasoning, but I don't know. I mean, I like that art direction where you got the long pans of everything. The shots, the filming was awesome. I love the shots of him just walking through the forest. It had that weird, like, to me, it was like peaceful.
Yeah.
And then the dude goes and smashes a guy's head in with a fucking rock. And that was dope.
yeah,
Yeah.
I did love that whole over the top top shot sequence where he throws the axe at the dude, gets him, and then the crushing of the head was beautiful. We'll try not to get into super big. Well, no, we can get into.
I think we get into
we'll
spoilers.
spoiler.
That's been out long enough, and Longlegs has been out long enough. So spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers ahead. And it's not like you give a fuck about any of the characters in A Violent Nature.
No,
they're all just there to get killed.
Literally there to die.
There's no, except for the very end. I think that's the only thing where they kind of were they just didn't have any way to end it.
Threw a lot of people off, which is interesting because
Yeah.
I kind of didn't end up loving that movie as much as I thought I was going to, but the ending I actually did like, and a lot of people didn't, which is, I don't know if I liked it, but I didn't dislike it as much as everyone else did.
I can agree with you there. I think for audiences now, a lot of people just want instant gratification. I mean, who doesn't want instant gratification?
Right.
But for that movie, they ran you around at the end. It was like, it feels like there's a big lead up.
Right.
Psych.
Well, and
pull
it
the
was
rug out from under you, and
because-
it was like, okay, cool, all right, that was fine. But a lot of other people, I think, will say, oh, fuck that movie.
Well, I think what I liked about the ending was like you followed this dude the entire time, and then you get to the end, and now you're not following him anymore. And when it's kind of following her around, it's actually very scary because like you know how violent he is, and like kind of the tension's been sort of taken away this whole movie because we know what he's about to do because we're literally with him. And then when he's not being followed anymore and it's just her, you're like, oh fuck, and they kind of
Like,
blue
when
ball
is he
you.
gonna come out?
Right,
You
and
know,
they blue
like,
ball
you're
you and blue ball
expecting him.
you, and then you get nothing. You get the story, and I did like what that story was illustrating. That lady that was telling the story about her brother, who was the park ranger. I know that she talks about like a bear attacks him. When she was telling that story, I kind of took it as Homeboy the killer may have also been. They thought it was a
part of
bear,
it
but
or
it was
something.
he was the
But
actual assailant. But
I thought that part was more so about the.
Sorry.
I thought that part was more so about the
violent nature.
Well, yeah, exactly. The title of the
Right.
movie. A bear is gonna do what a bear's gonna
Right.
do, and then if and same thing with that killer
Yep.
with Henry.
Yep.
It was Henry. I think.
Something like that.
Yeah,
Something fucking
some with a fucking
white.
H or something.
Yep.
But overall, like the movie. You like the movie too, right?
No, yeah, I thought it was great. I have more to say about Longlegs.
There's
'cause I think
there's
I'm
more to
indifferent.
say.
Which is our transition here.
Yeah.
Into,
Well, what would you guys give it out of 10?
in Violent Nature?
Yep.
I'm gonna give it about 5 Shrek Swamps out of 5.
Shrek Swamps?
Shrek Swamps. That's what I'm rating. That's my rating
Just
system.
giving it 5 out of 5 on a
No,
10 scale.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna give it 5 out of 5. I'll give it like 4 Swamps out of 5.
Okay.
That's my rating system. You guys
Okay.
can't copy that.
I don't want to.
I
Trust
have
me.
it copyrighted.
I don't know. I'd probably give it maybe like a 7 uncut scrotes out of 10. That's what I'm gonna go with. Is scrotums, uncut scrotums.
Just a couple uncut gems. How many? I'm sorry.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
7 out of 10.
I don't have scrotums or a swamp. I'm just going with points, actually, just a point system. And I think I would give it probably like a 6
Out of
10.
10. Okay,
Yeah, 5.5, 6, somewhere
Yeah?
in there. Probably 6 just because of like when the kills were good, they were good. And I also understand they were under budget on things, and you have to kind of put your money where you can.
See, and that's why I gave it that rating, because I appreciated what they did on a fucking budget.
Right.
Which is
Yeah.
insane.
And from an
Especially
artistic
with
level, it
his-
was very cool.
Yeah. A cinematographer deserves a fucking Oscar out of that. But we'll never get Oscars for fucking horror movies.
Never,
won't
ever.
we?
Never, ever.
That will
Never.
happen.
because they hate us.
I don't know. I would say if you're into artsy, fartsy stuff with good kills in between, like pretty solid kills.
It's also not elevated, because
Yes.
I would not consider this elevated horror at all.
I wouldn't either. It's a slasher.
It's an artsy slasher.
artsy slasher.
Yeah.
You like it. I say you check it out.
Yep.
Yeah, give it a shot. I believe it's streaming anywhere you
It'll be on
find
Shudder now
streaming.
too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Shudder.
'Cause
because
it's
it
a
is
Shudder
a
movie.
Shudder
Yep.
movie. Yeah.
I think Amazon has it on there. You can rent it.
Sorry,
Yep.
just to get off the beaten path for a second. Shudder's been fucking it up in the game right now.
Yeah,
Like,
they had
are
a
putting
low
some
point
good
for a
shit.
second. It was really bad for like a year or so. I
was.
got really bummed, and lately they've just been kind of coming out.
James, I
often.
think you were their first customer. You, as soon as you heard about it,
Dude, I
and
was
they
on
released
Shudder
it,
like early on when that shit was like fucking
Yeah.
$2 for a second. Like I was like there at the beginning.
first fan
Yep.
of Shudder we have here.
I love you.
Shutter.
Shudder.
Shudder.
Yes. Sorry, he doesn't. Yeah, no.
I love you too, but I love Shudder.
Okay, good. I just need to hear it. So this is our transition into another divisive one, where it's either you absolutely love it, or you're meh, or you fucking hated it for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why anybody would hate Longlegs. You would have
Overhype,
to-
I think that's why.
I think people exactly. It got a little overhyped. People were saying it was the scariest fucking movie I've ever seen.
There's
it wasn't
nothing-
scary.
there's nothing
It was
scary.
No.
creepy.
It's creepy. It's got the atmosphere of like, it's just dirty. It's a dirty fucking film.
Yeah, it's
in
gritty.
Oregon,
grungy
Yeah.
in the 90s.
in the 90s, you get that feel.
Yeah.
Mhm. And the fact that it plays like a procedural,
Mhm.
like, you're going in like, oh, fuck, this could be like 7. But then it immediately flips on its head with the whole, would you say it's supernatural element? Or is
There's
it
a supernatural
more
element.
Spoilers again.
Yeah.
We gotta reiterate.
Spoilers
that.
for the whole thing.
Yeah, we're going to just rip right into it.
We're gonna get right through this thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So the main character, I don't know why
Where'd that come from?
I don't know. I am still
First time.
reeling from last night. First time. No, the main character. Dude,
What is going on here? Why are you?
The main character. It's like a movie.
Jesus
It's-
Christ!
I wish Harry Styles is in this movie, so he can just get his fucking.
Yeah, his
head
weirdness
blasted or
actually would have
something.
fit really well.
I think it would have. His
You should have been
his
the first.
accents.
Dude,
just
he
switching
could have been the
between-
he could have been the partner that gets at
He
the
could have.
beginning.
I
That
was
would have been
gonna say,
awesome.
I would've been okay with
Honestly,
that.
Yeah, but I think that guy who got his spoilers in the beginning, Mike Monroe's character is a FBI agent who they're looking for a serial killer, and she gets partnered up with a guy. Really cool little tidbit right there. She has the ability to. She has what would
She's
you say? it's called?
intuitive.
Intuitive.
Yeah.
She has the intuition, psychic
Yeah.
type shit. Not like fully psychic, because she can just kind of see bits and pieces,
Yep.
and then it's more just playing on her memory and her suppression of all of her bad trauma. Anyways, there's a little tidbit in there where they're getting partnered up, and there's like, hey guys, it was random, and she immediately looks at her partner who she gets partnered up with. I don't know how many times I can say partner. But yeah, it kind of gives you a little, teaser right then and there that she has the intuition. Anyways, she goes with him, and she immediately points out the house as he comes back to her from asking somebody. He's like, we can't just call this in. This is our first time. And of course, he's like, I'll just walk up to the door and talk to the owner. And he immediately gets his brains fucking blown out.
He gets gratatad.
Yeah, he gets fucked up real bad. And she, being the splendid actor that she is, you immediately see on her face, she's like, oh!
Yep. Yeah, the thing I love about that scene is something that I love about a majority of that movie, which is like not only is the cinematography fucking incredible, but the architectural choices they made. Her house is phenomenally done, but the doorway when he's walking up, like something bad's about to happen. It's a little bit concaved. It's a little bit like it's almost like kind of going. It's
Dude,
claustrophobic.
the
it's
whole
like this little
movie,
cave. The whole
We can
movie
be in an
is.
open field,
Yep,
and it
and
feels
claustrophobic.
Yeah.
But the way when he walks up, like before something happens, that it's about to happen, just by the shape of the doorway and I love that.
I think they did a really good job with how they were able to navigate filming in those homes, especially her house out in the fucking boonies,
Dude, the
her
shot
mom's house.
of her hallway.
It's so good.
Right when she walks in, because you just immediately feel like, ugh.
it's grimy.
Is somebody in there with her, or
Well, everything is grimy about this movie. It's the architecture is grimy, the tone is grimy, the characters, and Keenan, shout out to Ghost Pirate Army, he said the same thing that I've been saying, which is that it feels like everyone is kind of on the spectrum in this movie, with the exception of one character, which is her superior, Carter.
Yeah.
And I, like, there's no safe space, and there's nothing to kind of grasp in this film.
And he's the only sense of normalcy.
Yep.
Throughout the entire thing.
The entire thing, everyone else, every area, every bit of music,
Everything
every
that happens is like,
character,
nah, fuck that.
it's kind of fucking, everything's off. It feels like a weird fever dream.
And that's the reason why he is one of the victims towards the end.
Yeah.
Because he was the only one that's normal. The whole rest of the cast of characters are just
fucking weird.
weird. Yeah,
They're
Micah
weird people.
Monroe plays it like she is on the spectrum. And shout out Nicolas Cage for just fucking it up for the past his whole career. I mean, but like these past few years have just been prime Cage, just being a fucking lunatic. Starting with Mandy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
specifically.
It started for me. It started with Mandy. I don't like Cage.
I think
when
that
he's
was the
super
reawakening.
controlled. I'm not a fan of like Ghost Rider Cage, and like when he's like really like bringing it down and trying to play the character to the script. I don't necessarily love it, but when you kind of just let Cage go off and like really do his thing, and get a little crazy, he's one of my favorites. This was one of those movies where, again, we just made jokes that the Oscars will never reward horror.
I wish we would. I don't know. Maybe this will be a game changer. I thought with maybe Get Out, that would have been the thing to really put it on the map. But I don't think we'll ever get there. But with Nick Cage's performance in it, it's so funny because they don't give you any background on his character at all besides him just has been murdering families for years, and then
What's the thing? He's not murdering. He's influencing.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the
was that what
supernatural
happened?
shit
I'm
comes
sorry. Is that what happens when no, you're right. For the past 30 years, I thought that was just when the mom came into play. Sorry, again, spoilers. Michael Monroe's character's mother, which I can't remember the name of.
She's a famous actress. Can't really tell.
Yeah, they aged her up quite a bit.
Yep.
And it's so funny because I was, who I was talking to? I was talking to my mom, and she was like, "What's that lady been in? What was her mom in?" And I looked it up, and she's been in a bunch of like Lifetime Christmas movies. And I'm like,
weird.
I was like, "What the fuck? What is she
And
doing in
she
these?"
pops
And then
into this and she kills it.
yeah, like
She's the most unsettling thing. I think she's more unsettling than Nick Cage. Because you expect Nick Cage to be fucking crazy and doing his own thing, but he does it in a way that he was guided.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can tell that they put him down a path and he was like, I'm going to master that.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah, I
But
think
the mom is unsettling. Even when you first see her or she talks to her on the phone, it's fucking weird. You hear shit and you're like,
Well, because you're
what
not
is going on?
sure of who
Yeah.
the mom is the entire time. Like, she's kind of religious, maybe, and when she first talks to her on the phone, she's a little strange, but she's also kind of mom-esque, and then the more you get to know her, the stranger she gets, and when you see her in person, she's very odd, whereas, like, yeah, Nick, you expect him to be wacko, and he very much so is.
Yeah, and the one thing that I will say about the mom is that when she goes and visits her for the first time, because you only hear her on the phone for halfway through the movie until she goes and visits her, and then you I feel like I let my guard down when she actually went and visited her, because when she asked her, "Hey, have you been saying your prayers?" and she's like, "No, Mom, I haven't," and she just laughs,
Right.
and you just think, oh, she's just kind of a fucked up like mom hoarder. She's a
Right.
hoarder, and again, with the claustrophobia. That house is fucking filthy, and she's been holding on to everything since a specific event that happened.
It's in the beginning.
You
see
it's
it
in the beginning.
You'll see the house again and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think I caught on immediately when she started looking at the basement as she was going to the kitchen to make her mom food, that I was like, oh, Nick Cage is down there. He lives with the mom. They're. I thought it was maybe her dad.
They're in cahoots.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was her dad, and that's why, like, when they were doing so they did a psychic test after that whole incident with her partner getting shot, because she was able to point out the house. And remember when she did, like, they were doing the shapes and stuff, they did a triangle, and she was like father, and there was a circle that said mother, and then when her and her superior, Carter, they go to old victim's house and they check the barn. He gives her a paper that was left on top of the box of that doll that was a triangle, which she identified as father. So I thought that was like, oh, that's her fucking dad?
Yeah, same.
That's fucked. And then it turned out not to be,
Yep.
Which kind of happy.
Yeah,
with.
same, because it would have been maybe a little predictable. I didn't
Yeah.
catch the basement thing. I just...
No?
No, for whatever reason, that went over my head. And usually I'm really good on stuff like that. And for whatever reason, that one didn't click with me. I got really hyper fixated on, oh, that's going to end up being your dad. And then it didn't, which, again, I was happy about because I think that would have maybe been a little predictable. But...
Yeah, really glad that wasn't her father. That I feel like that just would have been very predictable. But after that fact, it was weird. Like, she went home and she found the pictures and stuff, and then she had like a Raven vision, like from That's So Raven, and realized
kind of was.
It kind of was. I swear to God, it almost looked like it, but it wasn't. But yeah, it was. It actually was from the beginning. In the beginning, I kind of figured it was her character that was just suppressed trauma. That whole beginning sequence was fucked too. I couldn't get that out of my head for a little bit after I watched it for the first time, of him, looks like I broke my long legs.
Yeah.
What if I just... And then just the whole, I don't know, the whole
Because it was
sequence
out
was
of
great.
like, you knew he was going to do something, but it was so, like, awkward and strange. But that's what the whole movie is. The whole movie's, like, awkward, but it's, like, organized awkward and, like, organized chaos. Very much like Mr. Bungle.
I think it's just autistic as shit.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't the director a Bungle
Oz
fan?
Perkins wore a Mr. Bungle t-shirt
He
to the
did.
premiere of Longlegs.
Yeah.
Yes, that explains a lot.
If you guys didn't know, he's the weird dude from Legally Blonde.
And he's Anthony Perkins' son, who was
Yeah,
Norman Bates in Psycho.
Yeah.
That's
And
Crazy.
then
Yep.
Mr. Bungle is a band from Mike Patton. Mike Patton did Faith No More. He's
in everything.
I was gonna say he has a foot in almost everything.
Yep.
Film, TV. Like he did the fucking zombies from I don't know if they're zombies, but from I Am Legend. Like he did all those fucking
Yep.
noises and
Yeah.
shit.
He's in a lot of video games.
A lot
Does
of video games.
He even
Yeah.
does composing too.
Yeah.
What is the movie he did the soundtrack for?
Oh, he did it for Crank.
Was it Crank?
Yeah,
Did he do
Crank
it for Place
2.
Beyond the Pines too? No.
Yeah,
Did he?
no. That
Was
was,
it him?
no, I think you're right. I think it wasn't. No. Wasn't Trent Reznor and all?
It was
No,
someone.
no,
It
it
was
wasn't.
someone.
We gotta
But
look
yeah,
at it.
no, yeah, it was.
We
Look
got
it
a
up.
computer up where we can look up this stuff.
Yeah.
But
Well, we have little computers in our hands. I guess we could.
You guys can look it up
Is
for
that-
yourselves.
Chat, can you look that up real quick?
Yeah, chat, check it out.
Anyways, yeah. So the director, who I didn't like. The only one that I didn't like of his work was I think Gretel and Hansel.
That's right. He did
I-
Blackcoats Daughter too, which I still haven't seen.
I haven't seen that one either,
Gretel
but
and
I've heard
Hansel, which one's that?
that one's the one with the redhead girl from It.
Remember that was the one with the trailer a couple years ago, like the witch, like
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
pulling the
stuff
hair
out.
out.
Yeah,
whatever.
I never saw that one.
I don't know.
Didn't look too good.
Yeah. But I heard the other two that he made were pretty good. Blackcoats Daughter, and then I Am the Pretty Thing in the Basement,
yeah.
Into Your Crawl Space, in your
Yeah,
attic.
whatever the fuck it
your
was.
ass.
Yeah, Blackcoats
Yeah.
Daughter, I know fucked a lot of people up. Some people really bored by it, but I know the people that it bothered, like it really bothered them. I don't know why. I don't know
I
what
think
it's
it's
about.
a twist. There's a twist in there
Okay.
that everybody
Well,
kind
it
of
sounds like something that we need to all
Check
watch.
out, yeah.
And,
we're just
bring
gonna
up.
go on a
Osgood Perkins,
binge.
fucking, yeah, dude.
What a crazy fucking name too, Osgood Perkins.
Yep.
But yeah, it was kind of cool to see that he is a fan of. Well, he's just a big fucking weirdo, which is great because
And translates well.
yeah,
Because he knows how to organize it enough. And I think that's the thing is like some people want to get artsy and like, I don't even know if I would consider this elevated horror, but I consider it right on the precipice of maybe falling into that. but it doesn't quite get there for me. But he knows how to kind of organize the weirdness in a way where it's still strange and awkward and jolting, but isn't necessarily like undigestible.
Yeah, I think after this movie, like, this movie kind of shows that he has finally been able to master his craft.
Yep.
And I think those first few movies were like those ones that you know, catch on Netflix and something, and then the Gretel and Hansel was his like big movie release. What were you gonna say, Hans?
To me, I know this is gonna sound weird. It's awkward. The whole movie's just awkward.
It's an awkward movie.
It's very awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
It's
I meant
just
by like
awkward
on the
horror.
spectrum.
Yeah,
It's very
It's awkward. I wouldn't even say this is a horror movie. It's a thriller. It's
Yeah.
got
It's
the
a
vibe
thriller.
of like it's got elements. Like
And
when she's in her cabin.
I
It's
don't know.
like
What
a
do
horror
you
movie.
consider horror? Is a horror something like where people are getting slashed up? Is a horror?
To me, it has to be atmospheric. I'm an atmospheric guy.
I thought it was
I'm an
creepy as.
atmospheric
I mean,
guy.
I don't know. I thought it was creepy as fuck. But yeah, the whole movie felt like it was on the spectrum.
Yeah.
If that makes
like
sense.
every character, like even the setting felt like it was on the spectrum.
So-
And we don't mean that in a bad way, but like that's what
no,
it felt
not
like.
at all. Not yeah.
The one thing I don't want from this movie is I don't want any further explanation on anything. I don't want a prequel. I don't want a sequel. I want
please.
nothing.
Yeah,
I want
please.
like
Sequels.
we got just enough of Nick Cage to where I'm like enthralled by that character and like what he was doing before and what brought him to that. But I don't want to know. I want what happens in my mind to be that.
After we saw the movie, me and James were both like, dude, he probably went to a T-Rex show,
Yeah.
met a Satanist chick.
Oh, that's
and
the
he
thing.
was all about it.
So much
And-
T-Rex in that movie. That's all he listens
Yeah.
to. That's all. I can't remember what his actual name was.
Big
Longlegs,
T-Rex head.
but his name was like Cobblestone or Cobbler or something like
yeah,
that.
Some
Cobble.
cobbler.
He just has Mark Bolan posters and T-Rex music as the opening, and like he's quoting T-Rex lyrics in his like Zodiac-esque letters, and like I thought that was awesome. But yeah, no, Hayden and I were like, oh yeah, he went to some like fucking T-Rex
T-Rex
show
show.
back in the day and like met some Satanist hippie chick and like,
He's like, I guess I'm down for the cause.
yep. But I don't need to know, and I
No.
don't want to know. He shows up and he looks fucked up, and he's obviously out of his mind, and all we know is he was a doll maker.
Yeah, we don't need a prequel. We don't need a sequel.
No.
Just let it fucking lie. And
Yep, let
stop beating
people-
a dead fucking horse.
Yep.
But it's cool because now it looks like Oz Perkins is teaming up with, who is it? He made Saw.
James Wan.
James Wan.
what?
And doing a Stephen King book adaptation. Honestly, if I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. But I thought that was announced.
Okay, well,
with,
hang on. That's for me. That's
That's
gonna
a
be an
good-
issue. I love James Wan. He does great stuff. But the past
that
couple
last
fucking
one.
movies he's been doing, Maleficent or what is that?
Malevolent.
Malevolent. No,
And- no.
it
Yeah, the one with
Malignant?
the one with Malignant. Yeah.
Malignant?
Yeah.
Malignant
And you guys
is
warned me
what?
about that one.
Okay.
You told me what it was going to be about, and I
For-
still was disappointed.
for how stupid the premise of that movie was, I don't know what it is about the movie. It's got some sick ass fucking action shots.
Yeah, it does.
Don't
It's
know why.
Very much so some
And
good
it's a
action
whole-
shots.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
But after that movie, he had his wife write the fucking script. She was a huge part of it. It's just kind of weird. And
I don't know,
I've lost faith in him. I'm hoping he comes back and makes something decent because he's a producer for fucking everything.
But the thing is with that movie, it was supposed to be like a B
Right, it
movie.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought the whole action, I thought the overtopness was fucking cool,
Yeah.
and it was just stupid. Like,
They
I felt
climb
like
up
he
the
went
building at one
then-
point.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like he
Dude, oh my God.
went back to his roots of like making these like it was supposed to be a low budget movie, but he got the budget, and he's
Right.
like, "Oh, I got all this money. What do I do?" You know what I mean? Like that's how it felt.
That man. Sorry, we're talking about James Wan.
Yeah,
now,
we got a little off
he-
off track.
Okay, that's what
yeah,
we're
we're
doing.
off track. This podcast is about random shit.
It's gonna
We're gonna
do
be
its
talking about
thing.
music at some point.
Yep. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just everywhere.
Yeah.
So that man went from Saw and his buddy making a Saw film, the first one, which is great, low budget. That shit cost like $100,000, whatever. And then they give him the deal for Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
Makes Aquaman, and then he
like
goes
$1 billion.
to and then he goes to Malignant or whatever the fuck it's called. The
Yeah,
dude's all
Malignant.
over the place. But he always has like that horror element, and I feel like when he gets into the horror aspect of things, it's good.
Yeah.
Like Aquaman has that horror scene when they're in the fucking trench.
Yeah, that would have been
And
a cool movie.
that scene was dope. But have you seen that?
No. I'm
No?
not. I'm
They
kind of
were-
burnt on all the superhero.
Yeah,
movies.
no,
That's
superhero movies
understandable.
suck now. But there's a scene in Aquaman that you need to at least look at on like a YouTube video or something. It's
Is it gritty?
It's the Marianas Trench.
Okay.
And actually, they were originally just going to do a whole movie on that, and it was supposed to be horror.
I heard about. Okay, I
but
heard about that. Yeah.
DC is just going in the
Warner
shitter.
Bros.
Hopefully,
Yeah, Warner.
hopefully James
Ugh.
Gunn does something good with Superman. And I really liked Peacemaker.
I don't know.
I thought Peacemaker was cool.
We are all over the place right now.
Yeah, sorry. To get back on track to Longlegs,
Do you want to just do a rating? What everyone thinks?
we can do rating.
Well, okay. So
Um,
before we do the rating, because there's a
Then
couple,
there's still a little
there's
bit
a
more.
couple of things I want to
there's a
touch
couple
on in
things,
that
yeah.
movie still, because it's one of those movies that feels very spacious yet claustrophobic. Like there's a lot of openness, but you feel
Those
closed
big
in the whole time. There's a lot of
Shots
stuff,
of where it's those driving shots are beautiful. By
right?
the way.
But there's a lot
And-
of stuff to it, even though there's a lot of quiet moments. There's a lot to that movie.
The changing of the ratio for the shots, the filming,
Oh yeah,
how it changes between
Yep.
like the past, it goes into more claustrophobic, makes it even more claustrophobic
Uh-huh.
I'm
with
forgetting the
how
words for it.
I can't think of it.
The millimeter.
yeah, the filming is insane for this movie.
I could have used more shots at her house. I don't know what we would have done there because I wouldn't want like Nicolas Cage or the mom or whoever to keep showing up. But I just really liked that atmosphere when we were in it.
Yeah.
It was very dope. There was that one shot where you see him standing out in the forest with
Oh,
like
yeah.
the hood up. Oh my
Yeah.
god, one of the coolest shots.
That's where the horror kind of comes in.
Also
You get that
the dolls.
dolls are
when-
fun.
So the
Gross
dolls we
looking.
didn't touch on, they were fucking foul looking with real human
Yeah.
hair was just like holy shit.
Pretty absurd.
Yeah.
And my
It was-
favorite part of the movie, my favorite aspects of that movie, I think, were every time you would see like the eyes kind of glow from the dolls under the cover, like the little yellow demon eyes for a moment.
Oh yeah, where
I
it's supposed to be at the
love, or
belly.
like the shadow kind of behind them for a second. Like this movie never like fists you with like, hey, supernatural, but like it subtly lets you know there's
Yeah.
shit there, and it doesn't need to explain why or how. All you need to know is we're here. Nicolas Cage has the background that he has in this movie, and there's something that is somewhat beyond physical reality happening, but we never get into like super foofy like La La Land, like completely unrealistic, completely unbelievable. Like it's very grounded and earthy while still putting its toe in supernatural just enough to where you know it's not something that's being imagined. There's something else going on. And again, I don't need that explained.
Well,
I-
then
I
there's-
agree.
There's the scene where, shit pops off, people just start fucking dying, and then you get that, yeah, there is supernatural shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The doll and blowing
Then
the head
the
off.
gun clicking too with
Mhm.
at the very end when she couldn't pop off the shots at the doll.
And they leave it bleak. They leave the
They do
ending
leave it
very bleak.
Yeah, where you're like, oh,
What's going to happen?
Satan's gonna come.
Also some incredible dialogue in
gonna
that
bust.
movie. Like there's some dialogue in there. One of my favorite lines, probably in like any horror movie ever, is at the very end when, again, spoilers, she's in Carter's family home, and you know at this point that the doll's like kind of fucked up the mom and dad, and sort of whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
It's
And
hypnotized
she
the daughter
goes,
too.
yeah, everyone's under the trance. And Carter's wife goes, we're going to get up and go into the kitchen and cut the cake. We'll be right back. And he looks at her and goes, I'll be right back. You'll be staying in the kitchen. And like, you know what's about to happen because of everything that's led up to it. And like, the way he says it is like, oh, but like it was such a dread-filled moment. It's stuff like that where that movie
Yeah.
fucking shines.
And
Sorry to cut you off. That's the other thing is, too, is when you're watching the movie, pay attention.
Yep.
Because there's so many subtle things that they slide in. Like,
Mhm.
at the end, there's a thing that happens, and then you notice, like, an upside-down cross in a
Mhm.
certain part. And you're like, oh,
yeah,
if I didn't
you'll,
pay attention to that, I wouldn't have seen
Yep.
that. There's a lot of
You'll-
Satan.
you'll notice some figures in the background too, like that you wouldn't notice.
Mhm.
That was kind of the thing that, for me, because I'm indifferent on the movie. I don't know if I
yeah,
stated
I,
Yeah.
was- I don't think you did state that, but yeah, Hans is indifferent about the movie. He neither loved it nor hated it. He felt very neutral about it. I think he got told it was overhyped. He thinks
Oh,
it was
yeah.
overhyped,
it definitely.
which I understand. I get it.
I didn't like because it felt like those scenes to me felt like a PowerPoint like transition in where they kind of just fucking slide him in, and then he just kind of like disappears. And but it looked weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a stickler for shit like that.
Yeah.
But whatever. That's what I think. But it's a great movie. I mean, I don't think it's a horrible movie. I think it's fucking cool. There's a lot of cool
And
shit that happens.
Everybody has an opinion, and some people's opinions might be more dog shit than others. So we appreciate your input.
The movie's so good. I love the movie.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Hayden and I
No,
jack it off a little bit more.
Yeah, we're stroking each other to this fucking.
Yeah.
Cage got me so hard.
Dude, I think every scene he steals the show, and every fucking scene he did. Let me in now.
Yeah, that moment in the car.
Nice. Dude, okay, and shout out to the fucking daughter of the paint store owner who just didn't give a fuck
she's
about
like,
this weirdo.
That creepy
like,
guy's back, Dad.
Yeah,
just-
and just gives him the look like.
hold up.
Sorry,
What'd you guys think of how he looked?
I fucking
Does that look
loved it.
good?
unrecognizable.
No,
I
yeah,
thought
you
he
couldn't
looked great.
tell.
I think people overhype that though.
I do too. But I like that it was mainly hidden, and I also for the trailers and stuff. But I also like for this fucked up doll maker. Like to me, there was elements of him like taking things like chemicals and whatnot you would use for doll making, and like you could tell he was like putting that shit on his skin and like making himself
So
look more doll-esque, and I loved that.
I got some information about that.
Oh.
So apparently he is covering up a bunch of he kept getting plastic surgery because he wanted to look pretty for the devil. That's apparently a quote
That's
from Oz Perkins.
fucking dope.
And he said,
Okay.
yeah, he looks all fucked up because he got a bunch of botched surgeries because he wanted to look pretty for the devil. And he puts on, because you could tell on his neck he doesn't coat it all the way through.
And
He
the
doesn't blend
nose.
it, and the nose.
Yeah.
That yeah, so that's essentially why he looks all fucked up, is because he just wanted to look a little pretty for the devil.
I love that so much.
He just wanted to be a pretty little boy. He just wanted to be a pretty little boy for the devil.
And then he fucks it all up at the end.
Yeah, he just fucking just
He went straight
ruined
Michael
it.
Jackson, dude.
Yeah,
he
he
did.
broke that shit off. Dude, the thing was, it matched up with the dolls. He just, like, it broke.
Yeah, he was
Like,
done.
his face was broken. It was gross. It was gnarly.
Fuck y'all.
Lovely. I will say the scenes between him and Micah Monroe, the main character, were fucking great. The little bit that they had.
Yeah, and they didn't over milk it. They just kind of
No.
gave you enough to where you're like, oof. And then we bounced out real quick.
And then the whole shit with her and her mom at the end was great.
Such a fucking bizarre dynamic,
Yeah.
which I love because I've never quite seen a dynamic like that in another film before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But overall, I really like the movie. I think that'll probably turn in my comfort movie.
Mm-hmm.
When I, usually it's Shrek I put on to
Which
try
one?
and fall asleep. Either one or two.
Yep, same.
Yeah, one or two. Put those on, I fall asleep, and I'm out like a light. But now it'll be Longlegs, I think.
Yeah.
I think Longlegs, I'll put that on, and...
Sweet sounds of Nick Cage serenading you to sleep.
Yeah. Mommy! Daddy! But,
Jesus. He's been dropping a lot of movies.
Mm-hmm.
He
God,
did
he is.
Arcadian, right?
that movie was crazy.
That's another thing we gotta talk about, too.
Yeah,
I feel like
that
Nick
was-
Cage can just have his whole own episode, maybe 2 or 3 episodes of just Nick
I
Cage.
think we will just bring him up
banter.
periodically.
Yeah, might as well. Make him the
Um,
mascot, dude. Make Longlegs the mascot.
Yeah.
Jesus.
We'll just totally rip off the poster, and it'll be us three in red and black on
Yeah.
the poster.
Or we
Yeah.
just have all 3.
Well, technically, that poster is a rip-off of T-Rex. So.
Correct. Yep.
Or we just have us all covered in a blanket with our set of legs just hanging out under it.
Yeah,
That'll be our-
yeah.
But actually, no, and then
That'll be
we're
our
all pitching
podcast.
tents.
Snuff. Ooh,
Oh,
was gonna say
I like
snuff
We're
that.
all
film,
pitched
but
tents. That
You got
actually
the,
kind
got
of
the thing draped over us.
You
and
see
it
our
looks like
legs
a snuff
sticking
film,
out,
and then
we're all just
our
bricked
legs,
up.
and then just
fucking
pitched
just as like fucking solid as you can be.
90-degree angle.
Doesn't even look real,
I like it.
but somehow it is
Yep.
for all three of us. So, thoughts? Your final thoughts
I'll
on
go last.
Longlegs? You're gonna go last.
'Cause
He
everyone's
wants
What?
to put, he wants
You
to
know
put a
what's funny
damper
is
on it.
I don't want to end it on a bad note,
No, same.
but Longlegs did end bleak. So
Yeah, it
we'll
did,
do
so it's
that.
fitting. It's
So yeah, my thoughts. I loved it. I didn't have any. I didn't have any issues with anything in the script. Maybe besides, I want more, but don't give me more.
Right.
I want more,
Exactly.
but don't give it to me.
Yep.
I'm good with how the movie was. I just want to see it again. I think.
Yep.
I just need to get it out of my system. That's it. But James, off to you.
Yeah. Well, what was your rating on your swamp scale? Your swamp scale.
It's getting 10 swamp. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna change the scale. It's 10 swamps out of 10 swamps.
10 swamps out of 10 swamps.
Yeah, and
My good God.
there's some dead coin there.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I want more, but I don't want more. Like I want more details, but I can mentally kind of build on what I
Put
got
those together,
for those. Right. Yeah, it's one of my favorite films of the year. I think Late Night with the Devil is still my top. But
We'll have to talk about that on next
yeah,
one.
we do. I also feel like Longlegs has a lot to go back and revisit, and I do feel like a second watch at some point is going to be beneficial because I think there's like, small little
Hidden
things
stuff.
to catch. Yeah, and maybe stuff you'll catch now that you wouldn't have caught before seeing it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it 8.5, 9 out of 10 on the normal point scale.
Yeah, I'm
Somewhere
probably
around
gonna
there.
be the one who's just giving shit 10 out of 10 because
Yeah.
I have a weird and I just appreciate everything that filmmakers do.
Yeah.
I hate to shit on stuff unless it's really, really bad.
Yeah, I think I'd probably give it a 9. I had almost no issues with it. I thoroughly enjoyed myself.
Why doesn't it get that extra point? I want to know.
The end, so we kind of talked about this, but the end is still bothering me, the very, very end where when she first walks into Carter's house and she instantly knows what's going on before her gun is unloaded, she could have shot the doll in the head, and she didn't. And I don't know why.
Prevented it all.
And that really bothered me because I haven't been able to figure out why that happened.
She just watched it all play out. And she's
Right,
like,
and then goes to shoot it after everything happens, and then she's out of bullets at that point.
What's
and
the other
that-
thing?
well, oh no, she wasn't out of bullets though. She just it wouldn't.
Oh,
go.
it just wouldn't go.
Yeah.
The thing is when the mom shot the doll initially. This is what I was picking up when I was watching it. When the mom shot the doll initially and she passes out. Okay, spoilers again. Sorry.
Yeah.
She went to that little comatose state and
Mhm.
woke up, whatever, and she went to go find them. I think, because he said, I'm everywhere, and I'm going to be in everything. A little piece of me is everywhere. I think she was taken over by whatever the fuck it was. Her body, she couldn't kind of control what was happening. So whatever took over Nick Cage and made him do his shit, she became that. So
Oh, so
she
she
didn't
had to watch
initially
everything
shoot
play
it.
out.
She had to watch it play out because that's what happened. That's what the mom did. She had to watch it play out. So she had to watch it.
So she was able to take control at the very
The
end.
devil or whatever is letting her do what she has to do to survive because she has to continue on this lineage thing because it's in the family. That's what I saw, and that's what I picked up at the end. And I'm like, I understand why you're feeling that fucking way, but that's what I saw, and that's what made sense to me. But then, yeah, it could be just shitty writing on that.
Yeah,
part,
or
but
just like,
whatever.
we got to build up a final scene too.
Maybe
Yeah.
you just need to watch it again.
I think I will.
Because
We're
not-
gonna watch again.
But I'm going with a 9 just because I have a hard time giving anything a perfect outside of Once Upon a Time in
will.
Hollywood.
Which somebody still needs to watch,
Hans.
and not just the last.
I'll
30
watch.
minutes.
I'll watch it today. How about that?
Sick.
I'll, watch it
I'll
today.
sit down and watch it with you.
I don't want to be near you. 30 minutes.
This is
enough.
already too much. Yeah, my bad.
All right, Hans, final thoughts.
All right.
Oh, wait,
Shit
yeah,
on
yeah, no,
everything.
yeah, you got to give your
I'm gonna
rating
shit on
that.
everyone's parade.
All right, go for it. Bleak ending.
I think I'm gonna go with a 7.
Wow.
That's more than I thought you were going to get.
Maybe a 6.5, but 7 just because I know you guys
No,
don't want
I mean,
that
give,
quarter
give it
or that
your,
half.
Give it your honest.
Yeah, give it your thing.
Give it the God's honest truth.
I would have to say that, filming, it's everything I like in a film. I will say that It Follows is it's kind of the movie that I look at for horror because it's got that, it's got the same dread. It feels fucking bleak. Everything is just like, it's fucked up. So I felt that throughout the entire movie, and obviously I love, what's her name? I think she's a great actress because she's the lead in It Follows. But I mean, like, there's things that I wish they could have, like, I didn't find Nick Cage scary. I didn't find him, I thought he did a great job, but he just wasn't.
I think it was just overhyped. I think.
And then that's what I was going to say, too, is that I saw and I heard from everyone that I'm around, this movie's fucking dope. It's scary. It's fucking horrifying. It's like, I didn't get scared one fucking bit at all. But it had the creepy vibe. It made me feel gross. It's in Oregon. You know, Oregon's weird.
In the 90s.
In the 90s.
In the 90s.
Double
the whole
down on the
thing,
gritty.
Yeah. And then, I don't know. It was cool. But then, like, when they show, like, the demonic shit, like, it looked, to me, it looked a little cheesy. But then again, I thought it looked cool because the cheesiness always adds to a film.
Mm-hmm.
Because it looks gritty and, like, gross.
Especially
and just
for horror.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I love shit like that. But, you know, I wouldn't say don't see it. It's definitely a movie you should go in the theaters, give the director the money. Give him money so he can make more things.
I mean, you're not giving the director money, you're giving
You know
the
what I mean.
studio money.
Giving
But
the
yeah,
studio, but
get him.
He needs more recognition because he's doing something.
He's going to be doing The Monkey.
Right.
With that based off that Stephen King book.
yeah.
That's what it is.
We like the creatives. We want the creatives to be enabled.
Yeah, we want that. We want.
No
We
more
want all of them
No
to
more
get their
Blumhouse
flowers.
movies. No more Blumhouse movies.
Fuck me,
Blumhouse
they
is just
keep
dumping out.
pumping
That's another rant for
shit.
another podcast. But my good fucking
Yeah,
god.
we won't get in that today.
We gotta do like a list of. We gotta just top
But-
fucking shit Blumhouse movies.
Ooh,
They're,
yeah,
like,
top
decent
10
ones.
shitty Blumhouse movies.
Yep.
I think it would be probably top 50.
Yeah.
They've
This
got. They
point.
pump out like 10 films a fucking year.
Just the
They're
last
all
2 years
ass.
alone have
Yeah.
been. Anyways.
Whatever.
Anyway,
Another topic.
so
another time.
you're saying 7 or 6.5?
I'd say 7. Just give it the
Solid
the bump.
7. I love that.
But you know, I would say watch it. Don't.
It's gonna be
take what I
divisive.
say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take what
And
I say for face value. And
Only what me and Hayden
It's just,
say.
I mean, you know, if you're coming to, I mean, this is what the podcast is. It's just us and what we think about movies. We have appreciation for film and television, and we want to share that with the world. That's what this podcast is going to be. We're going to have guests on it, and not, I mean, if we got famous people, that'd be really fucking cool. If we got some directors on here, actors, that fucking phenomenal. But it's mostly going to be people we know, like regular people who, you know, also enjoy films. Not all these fucking letterbox fucking people with their big brain.
Fart sniffing.
Ideas.
Fucking, yeah.
a lot of people.
And nothing against them either. I was just making a joke.
I
but,
have a lot against them.
We're just gonna get regular people.
Yeah, I want to get a lot of regular people's like opinions on film and television, like what makes like a general audience.
I want to
wanna
meat
go
a
see
person
something.
who likes Acolyte. That's what I want to meet. I want to meet a person who likes
That's a
Acolyte.
conversation for another day, and we might never not talk about it.
I won't watch that.
Star Wars. He's getting so mad we're not even
can't
talking
we
about
can't-
it.
Oh God, we
You
can't
can see
even-
my
all right.
face. I want to.
So I know he wants
harm
to.
someone.
He wants to crawl
I
out of
want
his
to. My
skin.
my. I have a very deep passion for Star Wars.
Anyways, this has been Hayden, Hans, and James, and with insert name podcast here.
It'll come soon.
It'll come.
We will come.
We're gonna come.
I'm coming. Real soon.
I'm coming right now.
Come.
Yeah. I'm bricked.
Do
All right.
not come.
Don't come.
Oh,
Don't
I'm gonna
come.
Good day for that one.
I'm gonna come.
Alrighty. Guess that's it,
All
right?
right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thanks.
listening, and peace the
Bye-bye.
fuck out.
Kiss